on there too, like crazy.
50 something now?
Yeah.
Hopefully. We had
It's been almost the same.
Hello everyone. Today is Friday and we have a very special guest with us, Geoff Nicholson. Some of you are familiar with this man. You've seen his name on the back of our ties, and today he's here to introduce us to the fall winter collection of 2018. So without further delay, I will turn it over to Geoff.
Hello everyone. Thank you very much. So we are going over fall 2018, and the way I've got this broken up, I've got it kind of broken up three ways. I've got what I call your commercial looks, which are easy to understand, your suit ties, your micro neat, solid, stuff like that. Then it goes into like some vintagey looks. We're using some special fabrics to really get this really cool effect with some vintagey types of feels and looks, and I'll go over the type of dyeing and stuff we're doing with that. And then we go into like a transitional seasonal. So it still has like a silk kind of feel to it, but we're getting into different types of prints with textures and looks that look seasonal, but still have that traditional silk hand. And then we go into the true seasonal, the texture, those really beefy fabrics that are just very special. And really, I feel like it's the direction for the fall season. And obviously it's not gonna be for everyone, but for those guys that are really into what's happening right now, that ultra texture is, in my opinion, the direction to go. So let me just start with the really dressy, simple, neat look here, which I think is so very, very important. You gotta have this very rich, very understated. I really felt like, is that mine? It's mine. I feel like for fall, it can't be color just for color's sake. The neckwear has got to bring the outfit together. It's got to be the glue that brings everything together. It can't just be, wow, look at your tie. To me, it's got to be, wow, look how nice you're dressed. And if the tie is overpowering that, sometimes it could be distracting to the outfit. So when you get into these really rich neats here, and really you need to come into our Douglas, you got to feel these. These are some of the finest fabrics in the world. I'm very particular about the fabrics I use. So when you feel the weight of this, it feels very unique, very special. And so here you go. You go into this really micro neat, solid, very sophisticated. I'm loving stuff like this. I think it's very important. Then you go into this little look here, this direction we're going to, in this vintagey look here. Very, very cool. You take stuff like this, here, very classic, but very sophisticated, here, and I'll explain some of this because it's a little interesting story with these fabrics here. And like I said, you won't completely understand this till you get in here and you feel these. It has a very dry, gummy feeling. It's a finishing on this that we call ancient madder. So these are actually prints. So if you look at the gold here in the tie, these are actually piece-dyed fabrics. So before we do any prints on this, we dye the fabric. For fall, I chose to dye the fabrics in that mustard yellow. And so what happens is we dye it yellow, and then we start printing on top of that. And what happens is when you do that, you get this kind of dusty, warm look of the fabric. Then when we finish the fabric, we over finish it. So it gives it that really soft, gummy hand, and it just feels amazing. And it's very, very classic, but cool. There was one of my customers, he would say to me, it's not cool to look like dad, but it's really cool to look like granddad. And I always love that, and to me, this is granddad. This is just so cool and fresh and different, and taking in the same idea there. Again, very dusty, sophisticated, because you see a lot more people wearing coats and sport coats and a lot of tweeds and stuff. And this, to me, kind of fits in that genre where you don't want to be wearing maybe a more dusty tone sport coat and then a shiny tie. I think you need to bring it down a little bit, and I feel like this sort of look complements that.
Yeah.
So,
if you're just joining us, Geoff Nicholson, our neckwear designer, is here in the R. Douglas showroom today, introducing us to fall 2018 neckwear selections.
All right, so the next transition we would go into would be getting a little bit back towards what we showed you on the bottom level here, but with a twist. This is what I call transitional seasonal. So this has a very soft, nice hand to it, so it feels like your traditional tie. Very, very nice. This is done on a micro basket weave called Panama weave. And so the effect we're getting is we're playing with the ground in the print to give it that texture and the different, you know, levels of color. And so when you take stuff like this and you build the story, I mean, brown and blue, very important. Let me go this direction here so we see it better. So we have the gray and blue, we have the blue and browns here, very important. But most importantly, it has that traditional hand of a silk tie, but it's starting to get that seasonal look with the grounds in the texture and stuff like that. Again, this would go in the same area right here. And then you go into these dusty colors here. So it's very seasonal, but it has a really nice silk hand to it. It feels amazing. This is kind of like a dusty watercolored floral, which I think is very cool. And then in the wovens in that same area, we're using the melange yarns here. So I'm really, really big on green for fall. I think that is one of the two big colors I feel that are important. Green for fall, and all my greens, I always use some sort of blue in the pip, in the ground somewhere, because realistically, you don't need to have green on or match with green. I actually prefer if you don't have green on. It's really going to be pulling the navy. So when you look at the pants there, you're really just using this to pull in the blues or with grays. I think it looks very sophisticated. So green is something you really need to look at.
He doesn't prefer that we wear green.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're the poster child for green today.
But all right, yeah. We'll rock the green today.
Yeah. And then also the other color that I'm really big on is this wine color. I always joke with people saying, Dad wears burgundy, the new color is wine though, you know? So this is, to me, this wine color, very important. And this goes back into that transitional seasonal. And the reason why is because you get the texture ground and the melange yarns here giving you that seasonal effect.
That's awesome.
But with the satin, so it kind of crosses both areas. So you're getting dressy, you're getting seasonal. So this could be sport coat, this can be suit. You can do multiple things with this. So this is very, very cool. And this is a great transition into the next thing that I'm going to show you after we get through some of the transitional seasonal. And again, very understated. This is a type of tie that is what I call a wardrobe tie. This is the neckwear that you can match with a lot of different things in your wardrobe, and it's not for one outfit, it's for your wardrobe, and that's very important. So you get into the transitional seasonal, and then you go into very seasonal. And this is something for the guy that's really keeping up with the latest trends. Stuff like this here is very cool. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the line here. I love the weightiness of it, the beefiness, the texture there, and the simplicity. Really, at the end of the day, I tell people, texture is the new pattern. You don't have to try to come up with crazy patterns everything. This is a very classic design right here, but when you play with the yarns and the texture and the color, it's very, very sophisticated, and this is something I think is very, very important for the season. And again, your navies and grays here, stuff like this, very texture. And I know when you feel these, they are heavy, they're heavy fabrics, and it might be heavier than what you're used to. But I promise you, if you're tying a 4-in-hand knot, it is a piece of cake and you will love it. It has a great full knot. These things will never slip, I promise you that. And so this is something you might not like it right now, but you gotta try to understand it, because this is just a great piece of neckwear and direction, and especially with the clothing as it gets softer, unconstructed, stuff like this really puts it together. This is neckwear that I feel like you wear this because you enjoy dressing up, not because you have to dress up. You know, there's neckwear that you wear because, okay, you're going to work. This is, I really enjoy dressing up, and we're going out to dinner tonight, I want to put a tie on and not look like I'm going to work. This is what you'd go for. The other thing, Same idea in that seasonal, a little soft, a little flatter, mixing some of the wovens with the prints, and again, kind of using these florals with the gray and that wine, I think is just super, super cool. I love that. And so that's kind of the wrapping up for fall for neckwear, where I feel like you've got 3 different types of direction you can go with our look here. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
We appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in to the fall 2018 preview. We'll get to work here and make some decisions and some selections on what we're going to be offering everyone for fall 2018. Thank you all for joining in. See you soon.